very kind of you to speak to us. Mr. Mittal has been very, very closely involved in the finalization of these guidelines. So it's very important, and I think he made it very clear, and I've had a chance to look through the details. There's no way where any sector has been excluded. It comes down to fit and proper criteria. Let me start getting reactions from hopefuls. Shachindra Nath of Religare is with me on the phone line. Mr. Nath, I guess the first thing that comes out as a point of relief to at least some players is that there's been no exclusion based on the kind of business you're in right now. So the earlier draft had talked about issues with real estate driven companies or groups, or brokerage driven companies and groups. This time around it just boils down to that fit and proper criteria, which would be a matter of judgment.
Yeah, so I've not looked at the guideline actually. I'm in a car. You have been very persistent to catch hold of me. But what you're telling me is, I think so, is good. I think so. There is no restriction in terms of the nature of the business, but whosoever is fit and proper would qualify. Ultimately, it would be in the judgment of central bank and the committee that who are people who are capable of taking the inclusion agenda forward, and they should be given the license.
Mr. Shachindra, just wondering, so on the assumption that firstly, would you be going ahead? There is no restriction now, so let me just get this out of the way. You will be applying for a banking license, sir?
I think so. With the restriction which was there in the draft guideline, we have always said that we were qualified on that basis as well. Given that this has been taken out, anyway, it doesn't change our position, so we will surely be looking forward of studying the guidelines in deeper detail and gearing up and thinking of how do we apply.
A couple of issues, sir. The 500 crore minimum capital criteria which has been put in, there is a criteria which says that the holding company has to hold 40%, and that 40% is going to be locked in for a period of 5 years. Any concern on either of those, sir? And also the listing has to happen within 3 years of operation. Do those sound reasonable to you?
Yes, as you know, the business itself requires certain amount of capital. And that amount of capital, 500, looks to be very reasonable to me. As far as we are concerned, we would contemplate converting our NBFC into a bank business, so that has adequate amount of capital in any case. And given that business has already have a scale, we don't see a challenge in terms of listing it also very quickly. And we intend to create value and service our customer well. Now, whether we have to hold 40% or whether we have to hold lesser, it is immaterial. It is the value of the equity which we value, not the percentage.
Okay. Sir, you did mention that you would convert your NBFC, and I just want to say for our viewers' sake that the RBI is saying that you can either convert an existing NBFC into a bank or promote a new bank. So both options there. One thought, sir, on the criteria that the new bank will have to open at least 25% of its branches in unbanked rural centers. I know that not everybody was in favor of that, sir.
Yeah, it's not a question of whether everybody is in favor of that or not. The fact remains the same, that the only purpose why government and the Reserve Bank wants new bank to come, so that the 50% of Indian population which is unbanked today can be brought into the banking system. So whether people like it or don't like it, if they want to go for banking, that's some criteria they have to satisfy. As far as Religare is concerned, we feel comfortable. We have always have a very broad-based business. We have extremely high presence in Tier 2, Tier 3 towns. And we would see that how do we achieve this objective as well and still continue to remain sustainable and profitable.
All right, Mr. Shachindra Nath, thank you so much, sir. I know you haven't read the full details, even we are looking at them as we speak to all of you, but the headlines are out, so thanks for your reactions there. I'm looking through the final, the entire